Well, hey, how y'all doing out there today? Listen, in light of the fact that news and the internet and the media is all pushing the EBT cards being shut down or not being used, or Trump's going to cut off the EBT SNAP food stamp program, that's what we all refer to as food stamps, and getting all hyped up and fighting about, well, who should do it, or we shouldn't have this, or it's not going to affect me, so I don't care, or I'm tired of paying for somebody, or I'm tired of my tax money going to this and going to that, or going to illegals. Y'all are mixing all this up into illegal immigrants. So I don't want to talk about the talking points. I told y'all we gonna start talking about solutions and the facts about things. I don't care what Trump's doing. I don't care what you think about food stamps. What I want you to know something about the way that we take care of our citizens in this country through the EBT SNAP program, and some facts behind it before you blow everything out of proportion and are making decisions against your brother and against your sister, against families, based on illusionary lies given to you by people that are pushing agendas. So let's get some facts straight about it first. First of all, who you're affecting, because what's EBT SNAP now? That's about 60 million people. This takes care of a lot of people, and not full blown buying all their groceries, y'all. If you don't have absolutely nothing, and you're basically in the street, just lost a job, whatever, something bad happened, you might get an individual might get up to 190 bucks, 100 about 194 bucks a month. But most of the time, it's helping out people that are on fixed income, like Social Security people, Social Security disability. They only get like 30 or 40 bucks. It's not like that you're filling up their refrigerator. Some single parents that are having to take care of so many kids and work a job, but the job ain't a lot. Maybe it's just working at Waffle House. Maybe it's just at Walmart. Maybe it's just whatever they can get. Because guess what? If you ain't looked out the window yet, times it's kind of hard. They ain't getting but about 30, 40 bucks, man, maybe 100 bucks to help out with some kids and some other stuff. So we got to really kind of look at what it's going to. And then I even broke down the percentages on this, because I keep seeing all these racial issues getting thrown into EBT. And I'm like, wow, well, we're talking about 60 million people, yet almost half of them are white. And but I hear it getting blamed on the Hispanics right here recently, since we're talking about all this wall bullshit, and we're talking about illegal immigration. But and people coming in here and taking what's yours. All right, I did the population breakdown on it by race, and it's just right at roughly 42% actually white folks. It's 25% black. It's 10% Hispanic. It's a little over 2% Asian. It's 1.2% Native American, and then there's this whopping 12.8%, or let's just say 13%, rounded off, 13% that says race unknown. Race unknown, well, that's pretty much on the government right there. That's the government, not they're supposed to be identifying people, ain't they? They're supposed to be saying this is your elected representatives. But let's just say anybody but white people is still getting right there at the same amount white people are getting. It don't matter about the race, y'all. That's where I'm going to come in. That's where I'm going to blow the truth in your face real quick. It never mattered the race of people. 60 million people are getting some SNAP benefits. That's roughly about 20%. Only about 8 to 10% of those people are actually getting full-blown SNAP EBT cash. I mean, not cash, groceries. The whole like 194 for an individual, however it is for a family. This don't go up to bunches and bunches, and all these people don't have bunches and bunches of kids. It's all based on income, rent. There is a formula for it. They just don't hand it out like crackers at some hit a soup line. I mean, come on, you got to get real about that. And then it's not just a racial thing. It's not like all these illegals, all these people, all this is going and taking your tax money. Now, in saying that, a lot of you ain't very, very bright on your taxes. So I'm just going to break down what comes out your paycheck and what you think that you're paying for in America, that you're covering all these people coming out your paycheck. Well, you're right in a way, but you just got it mixed up with the poor and the rich. And I'm going to break it down right here. There's about a somewhere between about 3 to 6% of your paycheck tax coming out. It's going to be your FICA tax. About 3 to 6%. So let's just say about 4% of your paycheck. 4% of your money goes to FICA tax. That's the only tax that you got to pay by the federal government, by the way. That's by law says you have to pay. This covers Social Security. This covers disability. This covers welfare. This covers EBT. This covers SNAP. This covers all the social programs. 4%. 4%. 4 cents out of every dollar you make. That's all that goes to poor folks. Now, the part of your paycheck called the federal income tax, the big one. Now you know what I'm getting at. That's about somewhere between 38 to 45% of your paycheck is your federal income tax. All that goes to is to pay the Rothschild Bank interest rate on your money that you spend. That goes to the rich people. So 4% of your paycheck goes to the poor folks or social programs, and let's just say 41% goes to the man. But you bitch at the poor people. I want you to really stop and think about that for a second. We never want to ever bitch at the real culprit because they're just too evil or it's just too much to look at and say that's the truth. The federal government is the enemy, not the Mexican coming across the wall that got a hospital bill, not the black folks that are getting some food stamps because they got to eat. Not the white single mother or the white single father out there with a couple kids that's a widow or something and just trying to get by and had to have an extra $50 a month to help get some cereal in their bowls in the morning. Nah, we don't think about the reality of even the tax part of it. So where is your money going and how much of it? You should think about that first. But actually, what I believe as a human being and a brother and somebody that's been there and on both sides of this fence, been fed and help feed others. First of all, I'd like for the people in this country that call themselves Christians to be Christ-like and look at the fact that Christ fed people everywhere he went. One time he fed 5,000 at one time. That's what your story said. So be thinking about that. There's some lessons in that. But the other thing is to remember that you don't want the government taking care of everything. It's not that much money. This is supposed to be in our nature to take care of our brother. And yes, for all you smartasses out there that are nitpicking about what goes on across the whole United States of America, people do abuse things. Wow. Go figure. Some people will take advantage of the system. Some people know nothing but the systems. This is why they call them sociopaths, for social reasons. They've been taught certain behaviors. They've been taught to be a certain way. A sociopath don't necessarily mean a bad thing all the time. It just means that's how you're trained into your behavior, and it's why you believe what you believe, and you see what you see. Crime is a sociopathic behavior, and so especially continued criminal behavior. Your behavior overall is what makes you who you are. But the bottom, and there you go, your behavior overall makes you what you are. Then why are some of y'all out there acting up and talking like you pay every dollar of food stamps that go out there and they're eating food off your table or something? This nation used to take care of the world, y'all. Did you forget about that? Did you forget that the United States used to be the most charitable nation in the world? And one chump comes in and gets on the TV and on the Twitter and talks about how we got to be greedy again, and all of a sudden you're going to break that mentality. You're going to break the longest running streak probably in the history of mankind, where one nation of people, we couldn't help what our government did. We couldn't help what went on around the world, but we would give money to starving kids. We would give money to save animals. We'd give money to educate people somewhere around the world because we couldn't go there and do it ourselves. And now you can't feed your own fellow American? New World Order is laughing all the way to the bank on this one. All the way to the bank on this one. Watch what you hate, because you shouldn't be hating anything. You should be paying attention and understanding, especially the true facts of life of the issue that you're talking about. Number one, with the food stamps, I'm going to bring up another little statistic for you. Did you know that between the federal government and local businesses, for every dollar of food stamps spent, they make $1.72? There's a 72-cent profit off food stamps you're not even told about, because you might want some of it. But some of it goes back to the grocer or the person selling the food, and about half of it goes back to the federal government and them getting more tax money and revenue. So there you go. Food stamps make money, number one. Then it's only 4% of your paycheck, not the 41% you're out there waving in everybody's face when you show your empty paycheck stub and half of your check went to the man because you ain't realized that you're a fucking tax slave by now. Half your money goes to the man, and he didn't even have to beat you with a whip to get it. He just decided to take half of it and play a game with your mind. But he's making you hate your brother and your sister right beside you that need a little help. There ain't nothing wrong with a little help. And there ain't nothing wrong with the people that get any kind of help. If you need it, get it. If you're playing a game, shame on you, but most people ain't. That's a small percentage that gets blown out of proportion too. That's all you see on the YouTube, or all you see somebody being a smart ass or waving at somebody's face, being angry or something. Nobody wants handouts. Nobody wants to have to be fed. Just some of us have to get by. Some of us just have to get by, and the rest of us should be happy that you're not having to get by. So think about that. We used to think like that. We used to think like that. We really did. And that's what I miss. You want to talk about if America was ever great. At one point in time, we realized we wanted everybody, well fed, and the people that we saw around us, we felt sorry for, and we did the best, even if we was poor. That's what my family did. So that's what I saw. And if you didn't see it, well, I'm sorry about that. Like I said, that some people have been raised in this society to think that they deserve something, and some of y'all have been raised in this society to think that you're paying for it and it ain't fair. Well, neither side is true, and those are very small percentages of people that do that, and they're very stupid people too, by the way. So think about that. You need to know the facts, where your tax money is really going, how much of your tax money it is, how much the government and small businesses, by the way, and big businesses like Walmart are making off the food stamp dollar, $1.72 to the dollar. Think about that. It's a Ponzi scheme. That makes it a Ponzi scheme. And think about the fact that who you're affecting. Most of the people that you're going to be affecting with food stamps only get such a few amount of dollars. It don't even matter. It barely puts 2 dinners a month on the table. So think about that. I love y'all, but when we got to quit living in fear, because the fear is causing hatred, and the hatred is causing, it's you're hating on poor people, on super poor people. Wow. How much lower can you get as a human being to help somebody that's already been kicked in the face and lying in the mud and got their hand out just for a little bit, and it gets taken away, and you're talking to them and you're cheering it on? No, man, why I ain't gonna accept that, and I can't believe what I've been seeing. Y'all need to really think about that part of what we become. I love you. Peace, and don't live in fear.